Folks, welcome to the Get Off Our Lawn podcast. My name is Dave Jackson, coming from the great state of Pennsylvania. With me from North Carolina he's the Fred to my Barney. He's the Tom to my Jerry. He's the Slee Stack to my Shaka. A known instrumentalist on the theremin and a squirrel tamer, Mr. Dave Seymour.
Wow.
Thank you, and watch my squirrels do stuff.
That's right. Watch Dave's squirrels nuts. All right. Hey, folks, we have a special guest today on our podcast, an old buddy, an old friend, an old wedding teammate of mine. I got half of my wedding team here tonight. This is awesome. Yeah, they're half of my wedding team.
The other
There he is,
half
right there.
shot themselves, right?
And he was my and he was my best man. Yes, Dave. That's right. Dave was a substitute.
He was a stand-in. Outstanding stand-in, too, I might say.
He did a fine job. The suit fit.
Fine.
So we have
If the suit
Yeah,
fits,
Mr.
wear it, right?
Yeah, yes. So with us, folks, we're also from the class of 80, one of my good friends from way back, Mr. Jeff Markel or Markel, depending on what job he had and who he was dating. That depended on his name. So there he is, folks.
There we are.
There we are.
Hello,
All right.
folks.
Look at that. You could have put some makeup on that before you flashed us.
I
Exactly.
should've.
Send them up that Wookiee helmet. There.
Little
you go.
powder. So there we are.
You're looking coiffed, Dave.
I just came out of the shower. Thank you.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I was asking. You had that conditioner thing going on there.
Yeah. It's a 2-in-1 thing.
I don't trust 2-in-1s. You never know when the one might do to the two, you know?
Oh, yeah, or when they might disagree. That's right.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Combustion's a wonderful thing. So
1 and 2 always come out of different holes, I've always been told. So there you have it.
So without getting too gross, like we just did,
Did that do that?
so we can edit that. That's kind of it's going to stay anyway. So the format, Mr. Jeff, is the first part of this thing is we're going to ask you what you did when we walked off the high school football field on graduation day. What your life has been till now, and you can tell us as little as you want or as much as you want. And after that, we'll talk about old times.
Those are the old times.
That's part of it.
that's part of it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Wow.
fill us in.
So, Jeff, what happened that evening after you walked off the field?
Let's see. Did we do roller skating all night? Which I literally did for about 10 minutes when I busted my butt.
That wasn't graduation night. That was the senior party.
No, that was not over there.
That was the senior party after graduation.
I don't remember. See, this is so far back. I should have had notes. Oh my gosh. I really have no clue. I think I went home and went to bed.
There you go. All right.
I'm pretty sure. Now, my dad was up visiting from PA, so we probably got together, huddled, said goodbye, and probably went home and went out to dinner with my mom and sister, probably. Because my sister graduated with us. She graduated a year ahead of her class. So, so after that, I joined a band.
Joined a band?
Yes.
What kind of band did you join?
A really hip groovy band.
And you mean pushing buttons?
Hey, I'm the best button pusher you've ever seen.
That's right. You were a toggle switch throwing fool.
Toggle switch. You know,
They call me Dimmerman.
Mr. Dimmer to
That's
you.
my band name.
Right?
I'm with the band. I'm Dimmerman.
So please describe that light board for us, Jeff.
Well, I got a splinter because the engineer never really finished the job of
Didn't really buff
whole
it down.
cartridge. No buffing down on that. This is raw, baby. So yeah, where in the world wasn't it called the Haunt?
Yeah, that's where you and I went down and worked the board for him.
Yeah.
What was that little hole in the wall? I think it was called the Hot Spot.
Oh my gosh.
You remember that place?
I hate the hot spot. It was hot.
That was that little box cement building that was right on 13 past the road that went out to the waterfront.
That's it. And then was it Tweetman's?
And we did Tweetman's a lot.
Yeah. I like Tweetman's. It wasn't far to go. So
We did Did the arcade downtown.
Oh my gosh.
A big cavern of a place with a sticky slope and bleachers.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was us. And then let's see. And so we would go. We'd show up about 6 o'clock. Set up the contraptions. Ran the snake. Played with the snake to the board. Adjusted all the high intensity floodlights.
Exactly.
I think we had what? Red, blue, green. I think one was the primaries.
We had gels, man. We had white lights with gels.
No, we had. I thought we had colored lights. I don't remember the gels. The gels take extra. I would have remembered that. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, you know what? It was 40 years ago. Give me a break. So yeah, we did the show. Everyone was awed by the light and sound.
By the light and sound magic, right?
Right, and a couple times remember, and Toby's saying, "Can't you turn it up to 12?" Turn my monitor up constantly between everybody, so it was like deafening. But fortunately, we were behind the speakers, unlike the Emerson, Lake and Palmer in front of the speaker concert in Syracuse later on. So, I went to TC3, did that, and
What did you study there?
business administration. Went there for a year.
You worked in the AV department with Ralph and the entertainment guys.
Yeah, worked in the AV department with Moody Sanford. Old Moody.
Moody. Yeah, I remember Moody.
But you remember Ralph, right? He had the curly hair. He was white like you. He was an albino like you are.
Yeah,
and,
he was like
he
was my Harpo to my Groucho.
That's correct.
Yes. And so yeah, we did that. We were social event coordinator. Gosh, yeah, I did that for that year. And you guys were you were the crew actually.
I was in the crew. We showed movies in the that auditorium.
Right. We tried to get Rocky Horror outside on the wall, but that got nixed.
Didn't work out. We showed Friday the 13th because it had just come out like 2 years earlier.
Yeah, that was a big one because that was like $1,000 for that movie.
Mm-hmm. We had Mr. Ed play on the stage. And
my gosh. Yeah, I love Mr. Ed. I've seen them like 12 times all over.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, and I think
you know what that is, Dave?
Helping us too, wasn't he?
You guys are on your own little train right now. I'm just riding along.
Sorry. Yeah, that was something. That was the longest year of college in my life.
Take a look at my girlfriend. Yep.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. Yeah.
They were good.
So then I transferred up to, what did I do after that year? Let's see.
Did you go to TC3 2 years or 1 year?
No, I just went 1 year. I was trying to get to St. John Fisher. I only got a D- in my chemistry class, so I failed.
Now you're hey Dave, now he's gonna make me throw in a safe word now. He's gonna make me throw in a safe word, Dave.
What?
Now we're gonna have to blank that part out.
We're gonna have to have a safe word, Jeff. Here's how it's gonna work. We're gonna have to throw a safe word in here. The safe word is nut meats. Anytime there's a subject we can't go into or we need to edit out, there'll be a quick splice and we'll use the safe word nut meats.
Nut meat.
Nut meats. Dave will now use nut meats in a sentence. Go, Dave.
What I don't understand. What did I say?
On the barbecue last weekend, we had some lovely nut meat.
Was it frozen or fresh? I didn't know.
All right. So 1 year at TC3, go.
Yeah, 1 year at TC3. Got my grades going good and all that, and got accepted. Ron Ventura wrote me a nice letter because he happened to have gone to the college as well.
Oh.
So I made my way to Rochester, New York.
Yep.
Unbeknownst to me, many other people that had gone to school had gone to either University of Rochester or Rochester Institute of Technology, even from an old previous high school in Pennsylvania. It was kind of interesting since I gotten to know that. And so I got up there.
Hey, let me ask you a question while you're doing your memory. When did you come to drive?
Oh, we're gonna go that far back.
Hold that thought. We can get to that, Dave.
All right,
we'll go back. Let's hear the history first, and we'll go back and revisit that.
All right, so you got into St. John Fisher. You're up in Rochester.
Right, but before I got to Rochester, I did a cool job. It kind of was cool. Worked on dredging the inlet over at Watkins Glen. and got to ride up and down Lake Seneca on a big tug cruise boat, and got to go up to Syracuse and the locks. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
You were a seaman.
I was a seaman. There was 12 of us on a houseboat all week, and
Not me.
All right.
12
So you on a tug. You went.
I was
You
on
went
a tugboat. What?
so, all right. So Seaman Jeff is on a tugboat going to Syracuse. Go ahead.
Anyway, was on the Erie Canal. Got to do all kinds of cool stuff. It was a fun summer.
Okay.
So then after that, went to St. John Fisher in Rochester, and first semester went along. I had three roommates, and then 2 suite mates, and well, let's just say they partied quite heartily. And anyway, I worked 4 jobs to get through college and paid for it myself. So I really didn't want to hang with those guys. So I got my own private room and moved out after the first semester. And then I did something, blah, blah, blah. Then then I became a social event coordinator at that college. So that was fun then too.
At which college?
At St. John Fisher College.
Okay.
So, which now is a university as of last week. It's gotten so big. It's now a university. Yes.
And
okay, so
and
I worked in what's that?
Did you graduate St. John Fisher?
I did. I
Okay.
did. And I worked at a TV station up there, a public broadcasting station. And during
That was in the big skyscraper, right?
No, that was WVOR. That was the oldies station. That was the radio station.
Radio station. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
17th floor of Midtown Tower, which is no longer there. They flattened it. And so, yeah, got into broadcasting. So I went into radio and started off there for 5 years.
Okay.
And from there, ran into somebody who moved down from that station down to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I said, hey, I've done this gig for 4 years. I'm a short timer. Let's go down to Charlotte. What the heck? So we did that. So went down and started a transition of a station down there, and had a fine time. Little side note, went for the interview, and they said, you're going to meet with the general manager, and he'll look familiar. And, because I had told him I like old movies and old vaudeville stuff. And so anyway, went and met with them, and kept looking at the guy and saying to myself, who is that? So afterwards, I come out, and the guy who had introduced us and was promoting me down there, he said, so did you catch his last name? I said, no, he didn't say. He said, that's Doug Burrell. I said, Doug Burrell? He said, that's Uncle Milty's
nephew.
So Uncle Milty's actually his uncle. I said, get the heck out of here. Anyway, got to work at that station with him for a while. That was kind of cool too. I mean, we were guerrilla marketing all 100%. It was crazy. I mean, forget the band days. I mean, we were doing stuff at bars, and I can't say everything else we did, but it was pretty cool. We would go to competitors' promotions at the other radio stations. We'd go in, we'd hand out $5 bills, walk through the crowd. We'd have our little sticker on there from our station and say, hey, go have fun. Well, that's just one of the fun things we did. So they got to drink, and they got to, pay money at the bar for our anyway. It was funny because we got a call the next day from the owners of the club. Said, hey, we got all these $5 bills with your logo on it. I said, yeah, we were down there. I said, yeah, we noticed. What was that about? I said, well, we had $500 to spend, and we thought we'd give the competition, the Fox people, some money. So we kind of went over some fans, but stuff like that. A beer a minute weekend was one of my favorite all times. Gave away a case of beer a minute for a whole weekend. That was fun. Anyway, that was short-lived for about 2 years, and then they new station owner came in from Beaumont, Texas,
Mhm.
called about 20 of us in the conference room and said, here's the thing. We don't need your services, and you can use the phones for the next 2 weeks and try to find yourself a job. So I called Hawaii because, of course, it's free. Back then, you had to pay for stuff like that. Ironically, I almost got a job where I am now in Norfolk, Virginia. And I was starting up a radio station, a Fox station here. And didn't take it, stayed there, but then eventually moved to Nashville. But while I was in North Carolina, I think Seymour came down and we had a shindig of a wedding down there, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Mr. Plord came down. I came down.
Pamsky came down.
I think Dave was there too.
No,
Are you
he was
sure?
in Air Force.
Oh, it's gone. What year was that again? What year are we talking? What year?
89er.
89. 89, I was in Spain.
Yeah, you were too far away.
Hmm.
But Dave, can you tell us about the time you lost your lens out of your glasses
No,
at a club?
I can't.
Not
Oh,
me.
really?
That would be,
Not me.
that would be nut meat.
I think the new safe word should be pizza.
Oh, jeez.
No cheese.
All right, continue.
All right.
Nope.
Ask Dave about that sometime. That was hilarious.
It was funny as all get out.
It
Wasn't
was.
your uncle there, your brother, your dad, or somebody?
My uncle was there.
Okay, yeah.
Ford, and yeah, that was yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah, got married. 2 days later, moved to Nashville and worked for a radio station there. And I was a promotion director in North Carolina and also in Rochester. So I continued that vein only through Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte. But when I got to Nashville, I said, you know what? I see all these salespeople coming in here and they're wanting ideas of how to sell stuff. And I'm giving them, and half the time they're not even selling it. So I decided to go into sales. And in sales, worked there, got a couple of big deals right off the bat. The station was so small that they said, hey, we can't pay you. I said, oh, then I can't stay here. So went to work for a newspaper because I was a communication, journalism, marketing, management, whatever in college, double degree there. So I wanted to try a different kind of venue, medium. So I did that and did that for a while. Then, golly, every 3 years I was doing something different. Whether it's in printing or whatever, but Nashville was a pretty neat town back in the 80s, early 90s. It was just something that was really, I don't know, just had a good vibe to it. And got to meet a lot of cool people there. Got to meet a lot of musicians and great stories. Cole Porter, not me. That was Porter Wagner. Dyslexic sometimes, and there's Bill Anderson. There's a funny story with him. Ray Stevens, golly, Peter Frampton. There was just some pretty cool things down there. England Dan, remember England Dan and John Ford Coley?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to go see them live, about 5 feet from them, and they're pretty cool people. Met a guy that helped write 3 of Garth Brooks' big songs, Ken, and he got to go to his house and he showed me where they sat down, just jammed and figured out the songs and stuff, and that was pretty cool.
That's
So
fun.
Nashville was kind of a fun place.
Yeah.
So from there, made my way to the 2000, was it? Yeah, the 2000 class reunion. And let's see, anything else there? I don't know, it was fun. Oh, Plord. Oh gosh, where is it? Yeah, Plord and I did a compilation CD. And so I put together the music. We had online voting, if you will. I think it was Seth Johnson. Her brother-in-law out of Cleveland set up something where we had people vote on the songs.
Okay.
And so I think there were like 21 of those songs.
Uh-huh.
I think I have it. Hold on a second. I may just actually have a copy of the CD. But when I arrived, I had 50 of them. Steve Plord.
Mm-hmm.
Too shiny. There we go.
Oh, I remember that.
I seem to remember that.
Yeah, the dog ate my homework and other lame excuses. Plord came up with that part.
There you go.
Here's the master of the music.
Oh, nutmegs.
Nutmeg.
You should share the track listing with us.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it right now, but
Yeah, at some point.
take a little picture with your phone and send us a photo.
Yeah, I'll do that. So anyway, I'm always an entrepreneurial type. So we were able to get the originals because at that point in the music biz, things had gone digital. So I didn't have to worry about CDs or anything. And under the cover of the radio station, we kind of put this together one night. And then I had a guy able to take, and because Nashville,
Yep.
you know, get it into a CD. And then we had very nice artwork Plord put together. We even have it on the CD itself. So he and I collaborated, got to his house, stayed with him during that time. And we assembled the CDs, the cases, and the artwork all together.
Nice.
And had a little promotion with it because that's what I do.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, take a picture of the top, the front, the back, and the track list, and send us on. Send us on.
Yep, definitely will do.
You can incorporate that.
I will scan it actually so that it will not be just a picture. So we were able to put that together. I made 50 copies, and then 2 of them I put a $50 gift certificate for, I think it was Disney. Yeah, the Disney store, because that was just piggybacking off of our senior trip.
Yeah.
That we did. So it was sort of that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you bought it, because I was only selling them for $10, but I made 50 of them, which paid for part of my trip up there. But I donated the rest of it, like half of it or something, to the next reunion. I don't know where that money went, but hey, it doesn't matter. I just did it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of cool. Let's see. Went through a divorce, and then stayed in Nashville for a while.
We're up to what year now?
This is 2000 still. A lot going on in 2000. A lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So then I stayed and worked in advertising, worked in more radio, got in some direct mail print stuff with a couple of large companies. It was kind of fun. You know, I sort of acted like, or I felt like I was a journeyman in a way, but it was fun. You know, just really chilling. And then, let's see, 2003, I met my new Mrs. Markel, Lori, and it was funny because we lived within a mile of each other. And in 2000, when I got a divorce, the guy I worked with, this is a fun story. I don't mind telling this. Put my picture on Match.com, and for like.
And it was actually your picture?
No, it's my picture. He took my picture. He took my picture,
right.
And he put it on there, and he told me, "Hey, let me help you fill out the information profile." Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we filled it out, and you know, so 3 years later, no one's even contacted me, right?
Right.
And I just moved into my new condo, and that morning I just signed on because I wanted to send a message to my mom, letting her know I made it, and sent her some pictures, and then all of a sudden and I didn't know what an instant message was. This is 2003. I mean, we're still in the AOL age. And I wasn't that savvy with this stuff. So I just get a message that says, "Hey, And it says, somebody wants to talk to you. I'm like, yeah, it's right. It's a scam or something. Somebody's trying to talk
Russian.
to me. Yeah, Russians. So anyway, turned out to be a real person. And the real person she works with somebody I used to pal around with. And then turns out that she lived 1 mile from where I live. And yada, yada, one thing after the other. We got married, 2006.
There you go.
She had two kids, Emily and Christopher. And so Christopher is now the IT director at Nashville Zoo. So that's pretty cool. And my daughter, I call her my daughter. She's not my stepdaughter, but she is in California right now.
There you go.
So that was some good times.
Very cool.
Wow.
I'm talking a lot.
No, that's the whole purpose of this thing. The less we talk, the better.
The betterer.
The betterer. Yeah.
Betterer. Yeah. So let's see. 2006, Emily graduates high school, and we get married in Fort Myers on the beach at sunset.
Aw.
Why in Fort Myers?
I don't know. Why not? What do you got against Fort Myers?
Nothing. I got to go down there again.
Again?
Yeah, I was down there in December. So I was curious if somebody had family or there was a special. Special.
I skipped a big part of the 90s where I moved to West Palm Beach for about 8 months.
What the hell?
My wife at the time had a job with a company called Paychecks, which was from Rochester, ironically, but somewhat tied to St. John Fisher College.
Okay.
And so she was going to have the whole Palm Beach, West Palm Beach territory. Well, she goes down a month that we had just bought a house months before. Anyway, so we said, hey, what the heck, let's take a chance. It looks like a good opportunity. I'll find a job doing something. I don't know. So she goes down there and a month goes by and she says, well, they cut my territory in half. It's like, oh. So anyway, I won't go into all the details, but it gets cut again before I even get down there in July. So I get down there in July and it's like, this isn't going to work. So she had a friend over in Cape Coral, so near Fort Myers. And so I like that area. I'm not a big fan of the East Coast, Florida. I'm a West Coast guy. I'm on the Gulf side, but we gone over there several times. I like that side. So we had traveled over there, yada, yada. We decided, now we're moving back to Nashville. So we moved back to Nashville.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's why I like Fort Myers. I just thought it would be a cool place to go and do that sunset thing because she wanted to get married on the beach at sunset. She had been married previously, obviously, and so there's all.
Well, Fort Myers has got a very nice beach.
Oh, it's not. We were up by the pier, probably about a mile north of the pier. So it was. We had friends that they donated their timeshare to us. I mean, it was the sweetest deal I ever had for a wedding.
Wow.
Cool. So let me break right there because we got a minute left on this meeting.
All right, so where were we?
We had just walked off the beach at Fort Walton.
Oh, yes.
Hand in hand, gazing into the sun.
Well, before that happened, we were going to get married on. Well, we were getting married on Tuesday. So I was very excited because I always want to make sure that I can remember stuff because I figured someday I'll be old, right? Someday. And so I thought, okay, it's Tuesday, that sounds good. That'd be June 6th, 2006. 666, perfect.
What could go wrong with a date like that?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So someone got wise to it 2 days before. So we realized, hey, we got to move this up a day. So anyway, we did that. We found a photographer at the last minute. We were able to get the license that day on a Monday, which was amazing, and got married on the 5th instead of the 6th. Funny story is, next day we're listening to the radio, and there were like 5,000 Swedish people that got married on 666 because it was a lucky number. It's like, so I don't know. The world's funny, isn't it?
You could have waited and got on a Wednesday.
676? What's that?
Hump day.
Is that a Sheldon thing?
That's hump day.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Not meat.
All right.
All right.
All right. So you're on
Now
the
you're
beach.
married.
Now you're married.
Yeah, we're
It's
married.
2006. Your new daughter has graduated high school, right?
Yep. She's heading to college in Nashville and attends Vanderbilt Medical School.
Okay.
Top of her class. Pretty excited. Pretty proud of her.
Nice. And where were you living at 2006? Nashville?
Nashville. Still Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And let's see, 2011, got a promotion to a national sales position with Office Max. Was doing their print program for them, or a commercial print program. So was working with some of the like healthcare companies there in Nashville, Bridgestone, Nissan, things like that. And then we got a promotion, and then something came up in Atlanta. Now, in between all those years, I had like 5 offers to move to Atlanta, but having lived in Charlotte and I have family in Nashville. That's why I ended up in Nashville. I had my grandmother, my cousins, my uncle, 2 uncles, and then my sister moved down there from New York. So, going through Atlanta, I don't want to live in Atlanta. Just too big, blah. So anyway, this was an offer I couldn't refuse. So moved to Atlanta, and in doing so, lived on the north side up in Marietta for let's see, from 2011 till 2018. So that's about 7 years.
Yep.
So lived up there, worked for a couple of different companies, started 2 companies out of Nashville, actually, that were opening up down there, and got them open. That was kind of fun. And then we got a call from our daughter and our son, who had moved from Nashville to Norfolk, Virginia. He's in the Navy, my son-in-law. And so Eric was stationed here, and they already had 1 child, and my wife Lori was coming up here about 3 months every couple of, about once a year, twice a year sometimes, for a month or 2, and helping out with the daughter, and because she was going back to school at Dominion University here for her master's. And so she needed some help, and she could work remotely with her company out of Nashville. So she was doing that, and then they called us and said, "Hey, we want to have another kid." We're like, "Oh, cool." And we said, "So what do you want us to do?" Said, "Well, we're just letting you know." So we started talking. It's like, well, he's going to probably, and he was on the USS Lincoln for about 18 months. He had an extended deployment, unfortunately, but he missed the birth of his child. So anyway, I said, "Okay, what the heck? Let's do it." Just like I did going to West Palm, I said, let's move to Norfolk. Don't know much about the area, other than it's got some history. So came up here. I love history. Loved Atlanta, actually. Got to really like Atlanta. And then we moved up here in 2018. September of 2019, little Natalie was born. And so she was born, and we were here to help her out. We were at church, and Emily's water broke. And we just gotten back after it was just the first night, Saturday night service they had. And they had free Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I mean, what kind of incentive do you need for that, right?
Right.
So anyway, I'm saying in the line, one of her friends came up and said, "Hey, her water broke. We're taking her to the hospital." I'm like, "Okay, I'm in line for the free sandwiches. I'll be right there." So I stood in line. Hey, I got the free sandwiches. I got 5 of them, 5 for all of us.
That's right.
And,
One for
and a
everybody.
grandkid.
Well, yeah. Well, the other granddaughter, Ella, she was with us. So Grabbed the sandwiches, and thank goodness I did, because it was probably a little past midnight, and this was probably about 7 in the evening, and so
Yeah.
she had the little one, so it was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yepper.
It was like a
Very
Happy
cool.
Meal
It was more than a Happy Meal. Yeah, with a prize inside.
with a prize inside.
Chick-fil-A Happy Meal.
Yepper. So, yep, and that's how we're here. And in February, they got relocated to Point Magoo, north of Los Angeles in California.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're out there now. We just went out and saw them last month, and we're going to go back out in September.
Wow.
So they're out there, but in about 2 years, he'll find out if he gets to come back here. He's thinking he probably will, but
How many years does he have in now?
I think he's at 16. He's got another 7 to go. So basically, retirement and him retiring and me retiring is going to happen around the same time. If I'd retire, I don't know what that means. I'm still trying to figure that out. I know you guys love it, but I don't know. I got to stay busy with stuff like that.
Oh, I'll stay busy. Trust me.
Yeah, well,
There's plenty to do.
I'm pretty sure there is. But anyway, yeah. So I actually work for a company now called Johnson Controls. When I was in Nashville, I actually networked with somebody there, and from the time I was in Nashville and moved to Atlanta, she had moved up the chain and became a regional, then our district, then a regional sales manager, and then became the national manager for sales for the company and for one division. And I called her, I said, "Hey, got a job over there in Norfolk. I'm moving up there." So am I boring you, Dave? It's a little late for you.
Oh, sorry. No, it's long day.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I've been up since a while. So anyway, we got, it's just funny how many people you meet and they come back around in your life. And she was one of those that I needed a job. She got me an interview. They gave me an offer. I said, it's just me, right? It's Jeff. It's like no bigwig. And anyway, it got me here.
Yep.
Got me in a pretty good position. Been there 4 years now, almost 4 years now, and kind of loving it. Yeah. So now the senior rep over there.
Nice.
So we're all caught up.
I guess we're all caught up now. Do we
All right.
reminisce?
Now back to Dave's original question,
Which one?
which was, what year did you get to school?
What year did you come to Dryden?
Yeah.
Okay. The year I think it was 1974. Now, it was
And so what grade would have that been?
I don't know. What am I?
8th.
Is it 8th?
That's when I met you.
Then
8th
that
grade.
must have been it then. Yeah, whatever Mr. Winter's class was, I don't
That was
So-
8th grade.
So
know. Okay.
the story about how I met Jeff was when he didn't know anybody still. He was in our 8th grade earth science class.
Yep.
And Mr. Winters had us doing, he was giving us information. We were trying to find oil fields.
Oh my God.
We were trying to find oil fields, and he assigned us all in little groups, and he assigned this guy, with his glasses and his really white hair that didn't talk a lot to our group. And
kind of sound.
so they give us information, all this information about what was there, topography wise and underground. We determined what we thought would be the spots to drill and hit oil. So we had to pick coordinates based on information. And so we looked at Jeff. Oh, here's a new kid. Let him have a whack at it. And he picked 9 oil wells in a row that were big gushers. Like, oh, all right.
Is
You
it
can
that
hang.
many? I thought there were like 4 of them or something.
No, you hit a bunch in a row. You hit like boom, boom, boom.
And this was
I
like
like playing Battleship. What can I tell you? It's what it felt like. So
this was pre-fracking, right?
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
pre-fracking. Yeah.
Way before fracking.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's
that's right. I remember that. Do it.
that's how I met Jeff.
What was his nickname? Was it? Oh, no one. He didn't like to be called Leprechaun or
Yeah,
something.
he didn't like that.
No, but he had the beard and no
He
mustache.
looked just like a
Yeah.
leprechaun. Nice guy, though. I like.
Yeah, one of the best teachers ever. Yep.
Yep. So,
So-
it was fall of '75.
Mhm.
I had moved from Pennsylvania in '74 in December. My parents had just divorced. My uncle. Oh, this is something you guys probably don't know. My uncle, his name was Henry Wu. I kid you not. W-U.
Woo. Okay. All right.
He was Taiwanese, and he had a fellowship, and he had a sponsor at Cornell. And my aunt had met him there. She had gone to Cornell for, I don't know, she had like 2 or 3 PhDs. I don't know. She was smart.
Mhm.
It was from a mom's side of the family. I don't know where that went to. But anyway, so he passed away. He was only like 37. He had a heart attack. But he worked on the actual where you talk to plants, and he had the sensors or something where, and supposedly somewhere on the campus, they have a little plaque or something to his work that he did all that. I don't know. If it's
He was a plant whisperer.
plant hearer, plant hearer, not a whisperer. So anyway, that so she was familiar with the area and kind of had fond memories after he passed away, and my parents were divorcing, so we moved in with her, and we lived up on East Hill and on Schuyler Place, and kind of a cool place. I went back there in 2000. It was creepy and run down and looked haunted. But anyway, that's the last time I've been to Ithaca and up in that area. So it's been quite a while now, 22 years, hard to believe. But anyway, my mom and my aunt were sisters, and it didn't quite work out too well. And we were 2 kids, and she didn't have any kids. And so it got a little rough, but we still like each other. But my mom said, let's move. I said, okay. Said we're going to Dryden. I go, what's a Dryden? So we moved to Dryden.
Okay.
And it was on Lewis Street, and I Google mapped or did a Google search, and there's another house behind my house. So
There's an
doubled
addition.
up on
There's
us.
an addition on your house.
It's a nice addition.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Happened many years ago.
Yeah. So they were on famous Lewis Street, and on Lewis Street, across the street, we had the Hugh Bahar.
Hugh Bahar.
Or when we played basketball, his name was Kareem Abdul-Bahar.
Bahar.
He loved that. Then we had the Bryants,
Right.
and then we had on the other side. Hugh's father was the president of TC3.
TC3. That's right.
So across the street, I had the president of the community college, and right next to him were the Stefanos, the principal of the high school.
Cool.
And then Stellig, wasn't it Tom? He was next door to them.
Just down. He was like 2 more houses down from the Stefanos.
Yeah. So I mean, like Lewis Street, and then we had Kenny. I can't remember the guy from the Journal, the writer.
Oh yeah. He was the editor for the Journal.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a pretty cool street, and everybody walked up and down there because that was a shortcut from the high
Plus you
school.
had the park. Plus you had the park right behind Matt's place,
Oh yeah. And that
Montgomery Park.
That was fun.
Yeah. I can't see. Just to review some of my favorite memories with Jeff, and Dave can share his. So in the earliest part of our time together, Jeff had a compulsion for the Marx Brothers. He had a compulsion for Steve Martin, because he used to just constantly repeat Steve Martin stuff.
Yep.
I can't remember any of it.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I went to his house on Lewis Street, I thought it was just, I lived in what would be called a big house for us back then, but I thought your house was huge, and it seemed like it went on forever. There was rooms everywhere in Lewis Street.
I like your house. That's why I was always over there.
Well, Sal was always at your place. I liked your house.
Yeah.
So
You know who else was always over at my house?
Steve Plord.
Lord.
Yeah.
I go to the door. It's like, hey, what are you doing?
Hey, he was always there.
Hey, come in. That was cool, Steve.
But I can remember up in your room, doing cassettes and playing Styx albums till we were blue in the face.
I remember that old table I had in my bedroom.
Yep. I remember we did our book report for Lange's class in that room.
Yeah.
Which is in itself its own story.
Gosh, the Russia.
The Russia joke.
For
Famous Russia joke.
I'm getting straight from Saturday Night Live. I don't know why nobody else liked it.
Dude, Lang's face didn't move an inch. Russia
time-
plans on blowing up the world at 10. Details at 11.
11.
Yeah,
That was
and me
nobody
saying-
lying to the oral report.
and me constantly saying screwing up Hungary and saying Hungaria.
Mm-hmm.
He'd always like, "What is that again, Markel?"
Hungary.
Ah,
Hungary.
Hungary. But one thing about Jeff is one of the fastest kids on the freaking planet. Him and Tim Van Slyke, we go throw frisbee over at Montgomery Park, and it would be Jeff against Tim Van. I would launch a frisbee, and Jeff and Tim would go racing for it like two hound dogs, and Jeff would always beat Tim, and Tim was fast.
Wow.
Tim
Yeah, Jeff was
phenomenal.
fast. We threw a lot of frisbee on between James Street and Lewis Street. We threw a lot of frisbee, and over at the park.
Yep.
We didn't play basketball. We played very little baseball. It was a shit ton of frisbee. Under the lights.
I was just thinking, I played a lot of basketball with oh my gosh, Casey McNeil.
Probably
that
maybe
the person?
Casey. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
Brian. Yeah.
Yeah.
He and I played basketball like crazy over there. We'd love to go over at night when they were playing tennis, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got to turn the lights off on them, so we did
Yeah.
that. I think the statute of limitation ran out on that one, so it was that. But yeah, I mean, I remember the first time because Jackson was so nice to me that I remember where the oh my goodness, Freeville Road and 13 up there. Oh, where the house that always gets run into at that T up there. There's a Quick Mart or something up there now. Oh, I don't know what's there now, but you know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about at the end of 38. There was the Busy Bee,
Busy Bee, that's what it was.
and straight across from that was yeah, you're right. It was a T, and they put a light in there finally.
Yep.
They put
And,
signs, lights, and still they run into the house or something.
Yeah, and it was,
It was the bottom of Lee Road, right?
yes, Bottom of Lee Road.
Yep.
And then next door to that was the optician that had the shingles on the roof, that
Yep.
eyeglasses. Remember that?
Yes.
Don't remember that.
Still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, where was I going with that? I hate
We're playing
Talking
basketball with young men.
Oh no, we were. There used to be a little pool hall there back in 75, 76.
A pool hall where?
There's like you go shoot pool and stuff, and so Casey and I would go up there, and we were shooting, and it was like we're out of quarters, and so I said, "Crap!" I said, "Wait a minute, I think I know somebody." So I got on my bicycle and I hot-tailed it over to Jackson's house, and I said, "Hey, can I borrow a quarter?" You said, "Why?" I said, "I'm playing pool." I said, "Okay." So I did it. I left and went up to the pool hall, and I'm playing. And all of a sudden, Jackson shows up and says, "Hey, where's my quarter?" I said, "I'm borrowing it. I'm not done with it.
You're not done with it yet. Now, where was the
I gotta win my
pool hall?
quarter back."
Yeah, where was the pool hall, Jeff? Where was the
that
pool hall
on
at?
Was that
There
on
was
the?
a pool? There was a pool table in there. I don't know what it was. It was like,
Well, there's a Busy Bee,
wait, was that where the Busy Bee is?
and then
That used to be a game center there for a long
Yeah,
time
it was
before the
a
Busy
game
Bee
center.
became a Busy Bee.
Yeah, it's a game.
There
Yeah,
was an arcade in there.
exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was an arcade
No,
there.
before the Busy Bee became a Busy Bee, it was a full-blown game room.
Really?
It was an all
Yeah.
game room in there.
It
Yep.
was a cool place to hang out.
Because that was right behind the Tasty Treat.
Correct.
Kind of down.
Well,
the street
yeah,
from Casey
more
Tree.
towards town. Yeah.
It's right there at the T.
Well, there was across the intersection. It was the Queen's Diner, or whatever that was. That was something else for a
It
while.
was a house back then. It was a private house.
Private house. All right.
yeah.
Wait a minute. Queen's,
Okay.
Queen's Diner. I don't know.
Yeah. So the Busy Bee right
Wait a
across
minute, what
the
happened to
Busy
Brooklyn
Bee.
Diner? What happened to Brooklyn Diner?
Brooklyn
Uh,
Diner was downtown on Main Street.
Yeah.
Still there?
No,
No.
Oh.
It's a community center.
no, it's vacant.
Oh, it's vacant now. Really? Okay.
It's a
I
drug
thought it was
house.
vacant
Community center.
2 weeks ago. It was vacant.
All right.
Wow. Well, anyway, who stopped there? Somebody, Sugar Ray Leonard stopped there supposedly on a fight going up to Syracuse.
Oh,
There was a
wow.
rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. I think Sherry Case told me that.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she did. I can't remember. So anyway,
There's that.
Yeah.
So you remember, I have a couple Jeff stories, right? So there's
when did I run into you? Because you always seemed to run into me, and you were always me, and I was always you. People always mistook me for you and you for me.
could have easily happened that way.
How about the jazz concert down in Endicott? Remember
Jazz,
that story?
huh?
You remember that story?
No, you tell me that story.
It was a weekend thing down there.
Okay.
So I was just tagging along because I had no social life, obviously. So the band went down there and something happened to your shirt or something that you were wearing. And so we swapped clothes. Yeah.
Really?
I think I gave you my shirt, my dress
Good
shirt.
thing Dave would remember that.
Yeah, you think you would, but obviously not. So anyway,
That completely eluded me. And
so
and
he's
that
up
was,
there. He's up there playing bass and all that, right?
yeah, that must have been the
So-
stage band. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the audience, blah blah blah, and then later I think maybe it was a jacket or something or a tie. Or, I can't remember. It was some article of clothing. For some reason, you forgot or you something weird. And so anyway, I gave it. You gave it back to me.
All
And
right.
some girl, when I was going out, an attractive young lady, who didn't know any better, said, "Hey, you play bass really well." I said,
Bass, good.
"Thank you." I never told you that, but that was pretty funny.
I don't. That's a great story.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately it's true, but yeah, there it is.
That's funny. I have no recollection of that. I remember going down somewhere with the jazz band, and we got creamed because all the other bands were like playing like Chuck Mangione and like 70s jazz,
Isaac and
Yeah.
Miles Davis, you know, and we were doing, you know, String of Pearls and In the Mood and 1930s and 40 jazz.
You were
Yeah.
so out of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, John Godfrey was a
Swing guy.
He's
he
a
was a
swinger.
He was a
guy,
big
yeah.
swing guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Swing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
you guys are toast.
Lansing's doing weather report, and you guys are doing In the Mood.
In the Mood. Bow, bow. So so a couple of stories. So I remember several New Year's Eves
Oh yeah, the famous parties.
with Monty Python and the Holy Grail, like on the annual event.
Mhm.
3 years in a row.
New Year's, like many years in a row. That was always a good time. Seemed to be at Jeff's house. Let's see. I remember we talked to Steve Fleur about this. I think it was the green station wagon with the deer.
Yeah. Steve was driving and unfortunately hit the deer. I can still visualize the deer tumbling and thinking his legs are gonna snap, and they did. Funny story with that. It took us like an hour to get from where was that? Etna? Is that what it's called?
No,
You are
Well-
towards Hartford.
you guys were
Hartford. That's it. Okay.
Yep.
It took us an hour. It was snow, so it was good. So we would take snow and melt it on the manifolds, and then we would
Oh,
take
'cause-
it into the radiator because it mashed the radiator.
Yeah, you guys busted up the radiator. I remember that.
Yeah, the rack on the deer did that, and then somebody from our class stole the deer or something and got arrested.
Yeah. And who was that, Dave? Who we
Who
found
was
that we found out that was who did Steve say it was?
I don't
Oh.
remember. Steve told us about that because he told us about the deer getting stolen.
He told, but he
Yeah.
and he told us who took it.
We'll have to
Damn,
go
I
back
can't
and
remember who he
review.
said.
I didn't know that was a thing. It was like, oh, really? But I think someone took it and they hung it up in their barn,
Yeah, somebody gutted
rested
it.
it.
Yeah,
They
somebody
got
got
it, and then it was stolen after that. But weird. So, yeah, that was a good story. So yeah, and then the last year, so the rule was if you showed up, you stayed the whole night, right? And you had to give me your keys. That was the
Pretty much.
deal. I bought cases of beer and I don't know. So
Was it-
anyway,
see, I don't remember these. Was I part of this?
Oh yeah,
I don't remember
thought
any
you
of
wrote
those.
it.
I think
I'm
you
sure
had-
I did, but I don't remember them.
Well, it's your own fault.
I know. I agree. I'm bored with that theory.
I'm not even sure what.
Bored with that theory.
I just made sure everybody had beer, and kept it
Yep.
cold or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so the last year I did it I was actually, I think it was 80, I think it was 1980 actually, after
Oh, it was
graduation high school.
What did
was
you do
80.
one after TC3?
I did one in 80
Yeah.
because I don't know if it was Bosley. Somebody from Hartford had driven their Jeep up and they found out where I was keeping the stash of keys. Grabbed their key. No, they had a second key. That's what it is. They gave me a key, but it wasn't their key to the vehicle. They took and they drove it. They wrecked it. And so when I found out, drove down there, chastised them, and that was done to doing that stuff again. So there was that.
There was that one.
So what were you going to say, Dave? It sounded more interesting.
Now I got one more story that I got to test, right? Because you and Jackson were in the AV group at Dryden High.
Correct.
WCP.
WDCS.
Yeah, DCS.
WDCS.
DCS.
Yes.
And for history class, we had to do a video. Now, here is what I remember. We went out. I'm going to bring it back because I've tested this on Dave, on Steve Ford, and nobody remembers this thing. And I swear to God. So,
What class is this?
we had to do something with immigrants. So I don't know if that was it must have been 9th grade because it was Hanley and
I did that with Amy Young.
Pardon?
Go ahead. I just remember. I think I know what you're talking about.
And so we were talking about immigration, and I had you guys out on the front sidewalk with a hoe, beating on the ground, a shovel, beating on the sidewalk, and you couldn't get anything to grow, right?
Oh, yeah. We were Germans or something.
Pardon?
Weren't we Germans?
No. Somebody south of the US.
Ah.
And so then
So I was stereotyped.
you were stereos. And
Yeah.
so then we went in, and you remember how the hallway next to C13
Which is no
was
more.
slope down, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And that was going to be the Rio Grande River. And we crawled up commando style to get across the river and make it to freedom in the United States.
No.
Complete blank.
Now,
I remember. I
Dave
think-
is making this up out of whole cloth.
No, I think that was McCartney.
What?
I think it was McCartney that did that. I'm pretty sure.
So anyway, are you saying we taped it? What was my
We
part
might
in
have
that, Dave?
taped.
oh yeah, we made a video of it. We made a movie.
Yeah.
And we showed it to the class. And then we finished up,
You're a
By-
lying sack. You're a lying sack, Jeff.
and then we burst into the classroom because you guys were out in the hall. And with the final breaking into America.
I love this
Well,
story.
We did.
This
This
is one of my favorite stories that never happened.
we might have videotaped
Where it
it.
happened.
We videotaped it, Jackson. But you know what? It went straight to DVD. You know.
Okay, it must have. It went straight to the shelf. Never made it out in the world.
It ended up
We
on
did-
what was it,
we-
Cinemax right after the 11 o'clock show.
That's right.
I literally found the tape that we did for the Irish, and I did it with Amy Young, and she had a cousin that could do an Irish bro kind of
Uh-huh.
accent, and so it's hilarious. We had this huge potato, and we had these people, and all of a sudden there was the great potato famine, and an arm would come in and pull the potato off, and the people would fall over. It was hilarious. Then we had it sponsored by Irish Spring, and
Irish Spring.
yeah, it was ridiculous. But I found the video. I just got to find it again. But yeah, that one's I still got tape. I can prove that one.
Yep.
Dave, if you can prove yours, I'd love to see
I'd
it.
love to see it.
Man, I would love to see that too.
I remember the hose, but I think it was McCartney though. I'm pretty sure
It might have been Doug McCartney.
because he had a big floppy hat for some reason. I think he took it from his mom.
See, it's
Remember
sparking
T-Spoon?
memories in there. It's sparking memories.
Well, it's
Well,
McCartney.
We may have to ask Doug. We may have to get Doug out and
All right,
find
we might
out.
have to get Doug in here to like
Yeah.
see what happens.
I was probably just carrying the tape player, which was heavy as heck.
Heavy as hell. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had a suit. I was the boss. I had a suit jacket and a business hat.
What a business hat.
That
Oh,
is so Mexican.
yeah. All over, yeah. Oh, good Lord. So, Dave, you may know this.
What's
Jeff
that?
was quite the bowler back in the day.
Well, you guys were on the bowling team, right? Over at Viking
We were on
Lane.
the bowling team together.
Kegglers, yes.
Yep.
You know that we keggled with a lot of schoolmates. I never realized how many of us bowled.
Both Rory and Rodney Riker,
Right, Abby.
Brian Stout, Roy Abbey,
I was going to say Roy Abbey was a bowler.
yeah, Lisa Scholl, Doug McCartney was bowling with us.
Agnes Beck.
Agnes,
No.
I don't remember Agnes. No, I don't think Agnes was there.
I only bowled on occasion.
Her-
So it was random if I ever bowled.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
Agnes's brother,
Oh yeah.
Brian.
Lived down on Main Street.
Well, there was either Billy Beck or Michael Beck.
His
No,
wife. Billy. Let me tell you a story about Billy Beck.
Okay, all right.
I'm in a customer's office. I think it was a doctor's office or something in Nashville. And I'm sitting there, and this guy walks in, he sits down, and they're playing the music through the loudspeaker, right? And Orleans comes on, Dance With Me or something like that. And just, he randomly looks at me and says, "Hey, you know who sings this?" I went, Orleans. "Well, you know where they're from?" I said, "Yeah." And so how do you know that? I said, "That I lived in Ithaca." And they said, "Who are you?" I said, "Who are you?" It was Billy Beck.
wow.
Another
There you
weird
go.
thing. Yeah. Billy, I've forgotten about that one.
Mhm.
This is good. We should do this as therapy actually more often.
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
So
No, Jeff and I made it to one of the funniest things. Jeff and I made it to a bowling tournament.
Mhm.
It was in Tully, maybe Jeff or Homer. Do you remember this day? We were in a bowling tournament, and it was a two-part thing where we had to bowl in the morning, eat
Right.
lunch, and then bowl again in the afternoon.
so yeah.
So Dave Jackson, at the beginning of the whole thing, all the way up to the lunch break, was on top of the leaderboard. I was killing it. Couldn't miss.
Having a good guess.
Had lunch, completely bottomed out and shit the bed. Completely shit the bed.
Yeah.
And poor Marge
Yeah.
Poodleball was like, what happened, Dave? What's going on? What are you doing?
What are you doing,
I
man?
don't know. I don't know.
No. Well, I tell you who my biggest bowling partner. I don't know if you remember this, Dave. Was Wayne Dunham.
Wayne Dunham, yeah.
Yeah,
Bob
he and I
Cohen.
did doubles. We came in second lots of times.
Yeah.
We were on top. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember his mom and driving us up to Homer and Cortland. And,
Well, me on for Saturday morning league, Brian Stout, myself, and Wayne would walk from downtown up to the lanes.
yeah,
Or
well, I'd walk.
you have
Yeah,
to go to Hartford and pick up Bill Bosley, then go to the
Bosley.
lane.
Yeah, that's right. Bosley, that's right.
Yep, because he bowled with us.
There you go.
He lives here. You know that, right?
Yep.
I think
Yep.
he lives like a couple miles from me, but we
Oh,
haven't
wow.
connected yet. Yeah.
Well, you need to do that.
Well, we're trying.
You both have receding hairlines. You should get together.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 years have been kind of weird, so we'll
Understood.
get there. We'll get there.
So we need to go through these pictures, man.
Okay, let's go through some
All right.
pictures.
Okay, so picture number one.
Am I supposed to show the pictures?
You can if you want to.
right.
That's fine.
All right.
Picture number one.
Picture number one. Which you want the prom?
Prom picture. There it is.
Yeah. What about
So was that junior or senior prom?
that was junior prom,
Okay.
and here's the reaction from this case. So we had a good time.
Yeah, you had a great time.
Was this Sherry Case?
Yes, that's Sherry
Yeah.
Kate.
All right.
Tell? The feathered hair. I mean,
Yes, that's Sherry Case.
Well, I was thinking it was Lori Munson, but it's not.
No, it's Sherry Case. Yeah.
All right, very good.
and you would be wrong.
And Steve is lurking over here
He was lurking back there in the corner.
Well, funny you should say that.
Oh, okay.
because
But here first, can we see that?
Why is it blurry? Why is it blurry?
yeah, it's all blurry.
Okay, we're getting there. Oh yeah, okay.
So there's Sherry, and I'm blanked out, so that's good.
Yeah, Mr. Invisible. Yeah.
All
right.
Now, this was senior prom then, right?
No, you
He
keep
says this
saying
is
that.
junior prom.
Not true.
Hmm.
So
Was senior prom the gray tuxedos?
no, I was senior.
Senior, yeah. Gray tuxedos.
Right. Because that year I went and there were like 3 other blue tuxedos there. And
Yeah.
I was like, dang nabbit. So I didn't like that. So I made sure I went to Syracuse to get my own.
Right.
And so I pop out of the car, and right next to me is Dave Seymour, and he pops out with the same tuxedo again. So it's like twins again.
Well, I'll have you know I didn't go to the junior prom. I only went to the senior prom.
No, I'm saying the senior prom. This is the junior prom that's up there.
I understand. But I'm just saying it wasn't the second time because anyway.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I tried to be different and I failed twice.
Correct.
Had nothing to do with you.
Well, see, I heard that story, and so I went to Cortland to get my tuxedo where everybody else was going to Ithaca, and then people started showing up in silver tuxes.
Gotcha.
All right, let's go to the next link.
All right, next link. Here
All right.
is senior high chorus.
Look at
Man, look at that
look at
hair.
Roger and Suzette next to him.
Suzette. I was almost as tall as her.
Almost.
Almost.
Or you were standing on a book, one of the two.
Who's that next to Suzette? Is that Amy?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I can't remember her name.
No
Oh.
clue.
I'd have to hit the reference material. There's Deb Fagan down there.
Oh,
Debbie
there's
Fagan.
Deb.
The only people I know is Jeff, Roger, Suzette, Debbie Fagan, and that's all I know.
The bottom right corner, I think she was a year or two behind us.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That's not.
Come on, video boy. Let's go. He used to work for WDCS. Let's go.
I want the archives.
Go good. Hit the button there, Chief. There you go.
All right.
I was not ready for my screen debut. Sorry.
Yeah, you weren't ready for your close up.
All right.
All right.
Here's the next one.
All right. Ski Club. Look at that group right there.
Where's
That's it.
Board? Where's Board?
Right behind you.
Right there.
There you
He's putting the peace sign above my head.
And we still to this day do not know who Ski
go.
Gug
Where is
is.
that?
We have no clue who that person is.
I think it's an alien, man. I don't know who that is.
We don't know who it is.
Is that a Levine?
It's a Levine.
Is that? That's not.
No.
Who is that?
Is it Levine? No, it's not
Who is?
Levine. It's it's not a Levine. I can't remember. Not Levine. I'll have to look in the book. Hang on.
Yep. There's Annette, myself, Roger Dick, Lori Munson. There's a crew right there.
That's a crew right there.
That's trouble. That is
That's
trouble. I'll never forget the second time I skied. The second time I was on skis.
Uh-huh.
First trip. Second lift, I went up. I can't remember what they're called anymore, but I remember Chuck was at the top of the lift, and you yelled at him and said,
Oh,
This is Miss Markel's. This is Markel's second run. Can you believe it? He's gonna die."
well, my wife almost killed me on my second run. Yeah, it's a Levine. M. Levine. Is that Mike Levine? Marty
Yeah.
Levine?
It's Mike.
Mike Levine. That's Mike Levine. There you go.
Yeah, Steve.
And it
played
actually
soccer
says in the
with us.
yearbook, this guy is Phantom.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Nobody could identify him. We don't know who he is.
It's a mystery.
All right. It's a mystery. All right.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
picture. There's some legs.
There we
Look at
go.
those legs. That's
Oh,
Horton.
that's Jeff Horton, right?
That's Horton gonna get
Yeah.
leveled in second.
Yeah. About to get laid out.
Oh yeah, look at that hair flowing. Woo!
Yeah, look at you.
Look at that, man, glistening.
Listening.
Look at the locks on that one.
Dang. I could have that back again.
Yep.
Ooh, that's Jeff Horton, huh?
Yep.
That is Jeff Horton. Yeah, those glasses came off. That's Joe Cosentini with me mid-flight, ready to get the ball away.
See, I thought that was Steve Plord. That's Steve Plord. That is not Joe. Look at that snout.
That's Steve.
That's Steve Plord.
Nah, Steve never wore his socks down like that.
You are so full of baloney. Now, how could you not think that was Steve Plord?
He's wearing. Nah, it's not him.
I think Steve Plord even verified that.
Yeah, he even verified it.
Okay.
Well, the only mystery is we're not sure if that's you back there. We're just basing it on the hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
definitely me.
Yeah, that's a
Those
lot.
are my
of baloney.
Adidas. Those are my Adidas cleats for sure.
All right. All right.
Yeah, let's see. That was it.
All
Well,
right.
that was a quick trip.
Stop sharing. Go back to this. Okay.
So other members you want to share, Jeff?
So let's see. What do you remember? Well, we talked about skiing a little bit. We've taken several road trips.
Chorus. We had fun with that. Went to New York City. Remember that trip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let's see. We tell the story about your Nova at St. John Fisher.
Holy moly. We're lucky to still be alive, aren't we?
You mean my Nova?
The purple Nova, right?
I had the blue Nova.
No,
There was a red Nova.
yeah, it was reddish, purple-ish.
Well, it was red. It was actually a former security car from Cornell.
We both had Novas? Because I had a blue Nova at that
You
time.
had a blue
too.
one. Yeah, you had a blue one at that time. Mine was red.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Novas
I
were
forgot
very
about
popular.
Well, yeah, they were back then for sure.
Yep.
It was.
So you guys came up and visited me at St. John Fisher one summer. We went to Darien Lake. I believe everyone loved playing whack-a-mole.
that. Mhm.
And we were on the big loop-de-loops roller coaster before it got to be a thing and boring.
Mm-hmm.
So we came back that night.
Yep.
I think, Dave, you
Who?
and Blanche were sleeping in your car?
Me and
No.
Pam.
Yeah, you and Pam.
You
Me
and
and Blanche
Pam.
were in the room.
You were in the room. Okay.
Yep. Pam and I were sleeping out in the car.
Okay. So, Dave,
Middle of the night.
you guys didn't park next to my car for some reason, which was good because this guy, a very nice Italian gentleman, slammed in with his Challenger and pushed my car sideways into the cars next to it.
Yeah, so actually we had moved to the opposite side of the parking lot. I don't know. It was like there was a street light or a parking light there, and we went under.
It was a logistics thing.
It was a logistics thing, right? It was like lights, right? If you're sleeping in the car, and then
You don't like lights.
We can't have lights.
Nah, I can't.
no lights. And then so we went to the other side of the parking lot, and what we hear is,
Oh,
and this guy had run full speed into Jeff's car.
Now, how soon after you and Pam got settled did that happen?
We were asleep.
Oh, you were asleep. I mean, the time you guys got to the parking lot, when everybody went separate ways, how soon after that did that happen?
Hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Was that for long? Oh,
it
okay.
was about 11:30 or so. It was around midnight.
Maybe. Yeah. Something like that.
Because I heard it and I ran outside, and that's where I saw the car. And then Dave and Pam told me about it. And
Yeah.
then somebody inside the dorm room building came out and said, "Hey, he's over here," and he had driven around.
Yeah. He had backed up and left.
Oh, wow.
He
And
wasn't the
so,
smartest fool.
Yeah, there was an effort and some campus security and whatnot to
Yeah.
find the young car, the
Yes.
involved vehicle.
Right. But yeah, I fought that for about 5 or 6 months, and he finally paid me. And I know this, I hate being politically correct, but anyway,
Was the car totaled?
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I sold off parts off of it though. I actually made money. I bought it for 600. I think I made 1,000 off of it
Oh, wow.
because I had an insurance claim too, right? So they totaled it. Then I sold the radiator and the tires and
He pretty much T-boned it in the park.
yeah, well, the back
back
driver
passenger.
quarter panel.
Yeah, it was a driver's side passenger in the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pushed it a whole parking space over.
Yeah, like,
So anyway, he paid me back. Meantime, I went back and I bought a Chevy Monza, and it was perfect. It was $1,000. I just took the money. I was like, here, I want to buy the car. We did it. I get in there and realize it's a stick shift. I don't know how to drive a stick shift yet.
Are you kidding me? You
Not
just jumped in
that
the car and
bad.
said, let's go, and you didn't realize it?
Well, I saw it in there, but I wasn't thinking. I mean, it was a crazy weekend. So anyway, I learned how to drive going back to Rochester from driving.
there you go.
How to drive a stick shift. That's the best way to do it, right, Dave? Just
Yeah.
do it.
Just go. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But no, I drove yours, but I just wasn't confident, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Starting
Everybody
second,
was-
never starting first year.
Just about everybody was driving either my Chevette,
Your Chevette.
Your
Yeah, it was
Chevette,
like-
right?
piss green, and then I had the brown Vega wagon.
Right. And then I think I drove Phil's Volkswagen once.
Yes. Yep. Phil's Volkswagen
I didn't
had,
like-
had a number of adventures.
Did not like the Volkswagen. Oh, talk about adventures. How about Old Baldy?
What about it?
I don't know. Any stories there, guys? You remember? We took the station wagon up there a couple times to the bonfires.
Well, I
You
mean,
ever guys do that?
I camped
Remember
out
those?
up there, but I camped out with like Dana Birch and Steve Egger and those guys.
Oh, yeah, I think that was more of the Matt Bryant era.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like. I didn't do anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think you guys were there. It was Plord and me out on our own, exploring the world. Maybe McCartney. McCartney got me in trouble a couple times.
There was probably a couple of nut meats in your car there too.
Yeah, some nut meats, definite nut meats.
Oh, I remember. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep this very simple. But I remember getting a call. It was probably about 9 o'clock on a Friday or Saturday night, and it was a young Seymour named David. Said, "Hey, Markel, you got a dog, right?" Yeah. Why? Well, I'm over here at. I won't fill in the name. And her dog was barking when I told my mom I was staying at your house.
Oh,
Oh!
well, we can elaborate on that a little bit, right?
I don't know. Do you want to elaborate? Because
Well, it's pretty much nut meat. But anyway, we were supposed to be somewhere, and Jeff was coming along, and we could never get a hold of him, and we weren't sure he was coming along, so we just left.
Oh,
And then,
I want to know who we are.
huh?
I know who the we are, but you aren't naming the we, and it wasn't Jackson.
Well, we're married now, so it's okay. And so Jeff calls my house and talks to my mom to try and figure out where we are.
Oh.
And we were up in Rochester at that time. And then we went to, I believe it was Niagara Falls.
Oh, that's not okay.
And
Not what I thought. My story was better, but okay. We'll go with yours.
what was give me your version?
No, I'm not going to say. Pure speculation.
you started this.
You started it.
I'm going to finish it.
Because basically we had to, you know, we got into it. You know, you don't trust me. What do you mean? We just, anyway, there was a whole fabrication of events that
That's a lot of drama there. I'll tell you.
there was
that.
a lot of fabrication of events.
So you guys are doing alibis.
We were trying to do alibis. We were not being very
Didn't do very well.
successful at the alibis because that was the you know, at that point, you know, I was into I had shoulder length hair. We were driving the Vega. We went through customs on the way in, and then on the way back, customs literally ripped apart the car because we only stayed one night in Canada.
Uh-huh.
U.S. Customs suck up there. Boy, they're tough.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about going to Kingston, Ontario.
We can
How
talk
about that for a trip? This is one Jackson doesn't know about.
That was funny. That was it was Lynn.
January of 1981.
Yeah.
You had a friend from church who was going to the University of Michigan.
Well,
And she was doing a French class up to Montreal or
well,
Quebec.
as I recall, because we used to, you were interested in her friend Michelle. She had a Lynn had a friend Michelle that they were buddies with, and yeah, I introduced you. She was of Asian descent, black hair, thin, and we hung out there a couple of times because they had actually won a car off the radio station, and we had to go give them standard stick driving lessons.
Wow, that's like a very
And
lip. I remember that. But this is the same person that was going up there?
yeah. So the blonde was Lynn, and we had to give her a ride up to it's Kingston, Ontario, right? North of
Kingston,
Potsdam.
Ontario. Right. Yeah.
So you know what I
Remember
remember?
the customs
Yeah,
office?
we went through
We thought we were going to get thrown in jail. She didn't have the right paperwork or something.
entirely possible. And we were only in Canada for like an hour, right?
Well, no, we got caught in that snowstorm.
Now,
And we had stayed overnight at that farmhouse.
There's a farmhouse in this story.
And there's a bunch of girls there.
well, because Lynn had to join her friends up in Kingston, right, or something like
Because
that.
they were going up to Montreal. So they were stopping there.
Are you sure Michelle's not in there too?
No, there's just
All
one
right.
girl. There was
Just one girl in the car. Sure,
just
there
one
was two.
girl.
All right.
Just one. So I'm going to tell this story since you don't remember.
All right, you tell
So
your story.
we get up there and we're sitting in the customs office for goodness an hour, and they kept asking her story. You're like, why are you going? If you're from Michigan, why are you coming to New York and then going? It didn't make sense to them. It's like it didn't make sense to me. I'm just along for the ride. I think you actually said, "Hey, you want to go to Kingston?" Like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, it was a road trip, right?
It was a last minute thing. So we did that. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to be thrown in jail.
Yep.
And so we finally get up there. We crossed into Canada.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it starts to snow. And it's like, no big deal. It's snowing.
Oh, so we had
anyway,
to find a place to stay then. That was why.
We tried to find a place to stay, but we dropped her off at this farmhouse where the rest of the people were.
Yep.
So we went to like Joe's Chinese and Canadian food restaurant. Remember
that
that?
was what I was going to say. There was a Chinese French restaurant.
No, it was Chinese and Canadian. It was Joe's. I definitely remember that.
It was French, Canadian, Chinese.
No.
It was like three nationalities all on a yellow sign with Chinese characters.
Yeah, it was a yellow sign. Okay. Yeah, it might have been small print. I didn't see it. So yeah, it was Joe's though. I remember Joe's. And then we went and saw the movie Absent of Malice.
We went to a movie up there?
I know it sounds crazy, but we went.
I swear, you guys are a hoot.
Absent of Malice. Then we go back to the farmhouse. They're still up, and they say, "This is the funniest thing." They were watching the Tonight Show.
Okay. Yep.
And then remember that they said, "Oh, well, we get the Tonight Show." Like, well, so we it's no big deal. And then the next morning, they kept trying to one-up us for jokes and stuff because they wanted to be Canadian and they're better than the Americans, right?
Yeah.
And then the next morning, we're sitting at the table and they bring out this container and they put this plastic thing in the container and they snip off the corner and they pass it around. I said, "What's that?" I said, "That's milk." I said, "What?"
Yes.
"Yeah, our milk comes in plastic bags."
Plastic bag milk. Yep.
And I said, "Well, that's kind of silly." So, well, you guys put it in probably what, those gallon containers, right? I go, yeah.
Yeah, because that's how the cows deliver it.
Exactly. You have it where you put it in plastic bags and put it in a plastic container. And then you drink.
Milk bladders?
Milk bladders. It was like
it was hilarious. But yeah, all night it was a one-up in the Canadian versus Americans. It was hilarious. And then we went home.
I only half remember the farmhouse, but okay. I remember breakfast being weird, and I remember the French, Canadian, Chinese.
I think we were only there one night, but it snowed about 3 or 4 foot. I mean, it did. That's why we stayed there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Doug McKenzie in the Great White North, man.
Pretty much. Oh, that's another good time too. Gosh, how many times have I seen that one?
Yeah.
More than once.
So yeah, Jeff and I, our senior year,
Yeah.
won an award for a cake that him and I did in home ec. Do you remember that, Jeff?
I remember many cakes, but I'm not sure which one won.
We had entered a cake into the craft show, and it was a black and white cake. All the flowers, all the decorations were black,
I remember
and
that.
we made a 3-tiered cake, and we won for the cake thing.
Was it like the Tompkins County Fair or
Oh,
something?
Dryden High School craft show.
Craft show, huh?
Yep.
Don't remember that. I remember the South African exchange student.
What's that got to do with a cake?
Because we did
Or was it transition there?
we did crepes.
We did
And
crepes. I
there was
remember the
little-
crepes. We did
We
crepes
did the
too.
crepe thing
Yep,
there.
I remember that. Yep.
And she like, these are awesome. It's like I
Yeah.
kept making. She ate like 10 of them or something. I just
Yeah.
kept making her crepes. Go, okay, here, have
Well,
some.
if you also remember, Jeff,
Remember
for
that.
Annette's birthday party, you and I
Oh,
made the
your
cake,
got trashed.
and the cake got
pissed
trashed, and I left
off.
pissed.
I know. I was fat. I thought that was stupid. I was really mad about that too. But I wasn't going to leave the party. So
Yeah,
sorry.
I called Blanche and said, "Come get me."
Yeah. When I saw her pick you up, I was like, he's good. Yeah, get
Yeah,
out
I'm
of
good.
Was
I
that
was
the
so mad.
was that the
I was
infamous
so mad.
was that the infamous peppermint snaps party?
All I remember was her 18th birthday party
Yeah, that was
at her house.
Schnapps. Yeah, I had to
Mom
talk
would-
to her. Her mom and I had to talk afterwards. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was without incriminating Phil, I think that was in Phil's department there.
Oh,
Apartment.
No, I mean department. I mean never
his
mind.
department. Yeah.
Not me.
That was Phil's logistics was part of that party.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about the airport and driving
Right?
down
Right behind the airport.
back
Yeah.
roads.
Dave, I don't think Dave did any of that.
No. So
No.
Dave comes back from the Air Force.
Okay.
Well, we did
No.
before I went though.
It was before you went. So we're
Yeah.
out back with, and I had there was a date. So I get Dave a 6-pack, and he's in the station wagon. He's got the 8-track burning away there.
Yep.
And
What was the 8-track of?
Dave would have to tell you.
I don't remember.
I wasn't there. I was out in the field looking for snipes and stuff.
He was
so.
Jeff was snipe hunting out in the shrubbery.
And the cop shows up.
Yes.
And he starts doing the flashlight and everything. And it's like, oh crap, should we go back to the car? Do we stay here? And Gina says, I think we need to go take care of your friend. I went, oh crap. Okay, fine. So we went back and Dave's sitting there and he's talking to the policeman. I'm going into the Air Force, sir.
Yeah.
I
I
said,
don't need,
yes,
I
sir.
don't
I'm
need
taking
problems.
care of them. We're just out here and we're trying. Well, where were you? Well, we're out taking a leak or something. So
And then-
he said, well, just keep the music down. I mean, could you imagine doing that at the end of the runway today?
No.
Airport? How crazy.
I've had more problems pre-military and post-military with cars and beer, and I didn't even barely drink beer. It was just
Well,
a status symbol.
You were
and I
bad at it.
had got more. But I remember when you got back in the car, or shortly after, you go, I've never been bitten by so many mosquitoes in my
Oh
life.
my gosh, they would have hurt. It was terrible out there. It was terrible.
It was a swamp.
You were getting tore up back there. Yeah.
It was not good.
It was a swamp.
So were
There
you
was a
guys
few
with
times-
us when we were with Phil and we would go on the back road? I can't remember the road. It goes over the garage, I think. It's a long stretch and it's dark.
Pruville Road.
Probably
Fruitville
Fruitville
Road.
Road.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. Racing our cars with the lights off was probably one of the stupidest things I ever survived.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty dumb.
You could always see the other cars coming, unless they were doing the same thing. We didn't think about that.
Why would
Oh.
you?
The North 40. Any North 40 stories?
Oh.
Okay.
I dumped a drink on Brian Stout at the North 40. And
Alabama
Pam was
Sun.
there.
Alabama
Pam was
Sun,
there.
most likely. Okay.
Pam was there?
And Pam yelled at me. 'Cause I'd spilled the
Get
drink.
yelled at by
on
Pam.
Brian Stout.
That sounds about right.
I mean, she really lost her mind on me. Why would you do that? There was no reason to do that.
Did
You
do
guys
it
were
on
having a
purpose?
good time, and you just did that. You didn't have to spill that on purpose. Why would you do that? My
Yeah,
Pam
what's
impression. There you go.
Hey, how
That
about
was
when
perfect.
Pam worked at the McDonald's and we would go get free food? We thought.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the Pam story from McDonald's, right? They've got the contest going on, right? Whatever it is, Monopoly or
Oh,
something.
the Monopoly game. Yeah, yeah.
And you guys show up and you have like a coffee can full of pennies. And at that time, McDonald's had stainless
There's two
steel.
different stories, Jeff. Hang on a second. There's two different stories.
Okay.
They stainless steel counters, right?
Mhm.
You go. I assume it was at least Jackson, if it wasn't you too. But you went and dumped the whole can of pennies on the stainless steel counter.
Jackson did that. I think
That was me and Brian. That version was me and Brian Stout.
Okay,
Oh,
because I don't
okay.
remember that.
Because you had like 57 Diet Cokes on the roof of your car. You didn't win one, and you turn around, Pam's looking out the drive-through, and you go like this.
What the heck?
But the version when Jeff and I went was we just kept. I remember Jeff and I went down there and Pam was working, and we just kept going in and just bothered her for the Monopoly.
Yeah.
Things. We're just like it says right here, no purchase necessary. Just hand them over.
Hand them over. We went a bucket full, right?
We want to win.
Hey, did I tell you guys I won $1,000 from Captain Crunch
No way.
in
Oh.
college? Yeah,
No.
that's a funny story. So it was middle of summer. I worked a late shift. I got off at midnight at the TV station, so I stopped at the Wegmans and I buy some Captain Crunch because I got, I'm going to classes still in the summer and all that. So in the morning, I take and I open up the Captain Crunch. There's a little poster inside. I grab the poster and it says, up on the flag, it says you win. And then, you win. I think it was like a 15-minute toy spree at Toys R Us or something like that. And so I get the poster and I'm looking at it. You can make out the Dayglow ink on the little flag. It's a picture of the captain and he's on his ship and there's a flag. And so anyway, it's like, crap, did I win? I'm in half awake. It's like I barely get 8 hours of sleep. So it's like, shoot. So I jump in the closet where it's dark, right? And it's like, well, it didn't light up. It says it glows in the dark.
Oh, good.
So
You got
it's
a
like,
golden certificate.
well, it's not glowing in the dark. So I take it out and I hold it under a light for, like 5 minutes. I jump back in the closet. I close the closet and it glows, says you win. I forgot where I was. I jumped. I think I knocked myself out for about 10 minutes or something.
Wow.
I get out and it's like, it's hilarious because in our college yearbook, it says $1,000 stolen from security office. And then underneath is like, student wins $1,000. It's like, good placement, guys.
What are the odds?
What are the
So
odds?
anyway, it was, I could do that or I could take $1,000 cash. Fortunately, it helped me pay my senior year. So that was kind of a cool thing.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you won
think
something. Good for you.
I did get to record a promo with Chuck Mangione. It was right after he played the All-Star game, opener of the, I think it was Los Angeles or San Francisco. Can't remember which year it was, but he played the national anthem.
Mhm.
And so he was there like the following week in the studio. And so we were recording a promo that he was going to be doing some concert with his brother in their jazz band. And that was pretty cool.
So what do you remember about my wedding day? Both of you guys.
It was summer.
Let's see. Well,
June.
it was
You were in your uniform.
Yeah.
Why? Let me ask you guys a question. Here's a guy that just shows up 1975. You guys probably knew each other I know Freeville and Dryden. You probably didn't know each other then, but you knew each other once you got to high school, right?
Not actually.
Yeah, we started hanging out like ninth grade or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
were
about
before
the same
Dave.
time.
You were before Dave.
Pre-date.
Okay. Right.
You're pre-Dave.
Okay. PD.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I look back on it and, I'm honored, first of all, but I was best man for both of you guys.
Oh, that's right.
Hmm.
But do you remember the night before?
I don't think you do, but
I remember most of it.
We talked to the nice police officer.
Yeah, we did.
Where was
Hey,
that?
you were there.
Yeah, we were walking down the street and right in front of the
My
library.
dad was with us.
Yep, your dad was with us. We were at the hotel, and then we
Started
went
out at the
back to
hotel.
Dryden Inn, right?
We started at the
went back and
hotel,
forth.
went to the Dryden Inn, and we ended up down at the other place down there by the Tasty Treat there, that steak joint, the steakhouse.
There's a steak joint. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been like it was like 15 things back in the day. But anyway, we ended up at that bar.
Yeah, that's all I remember from that. And
So
then
my
it was at the
brother-in-law was
Presbyterian
my
church,
brother-in-law,
right?
my brother, Dave, Jeff, Steve Plord, and my dad.
Garth.
You don't remember any of that, Dave? And my night before getting married party? Wow. You were the only one that didn't drink.
Probably. That's why I don't remember.
It's reverse.
I drank much.
It's reverse universe there.
Yeah.
I live in the opposite world.
The highlights of that night was my brother-in-law got taken for a bunch of money from an old couple on the shuffleboard table. They were complete ringers, and they just raked us over for money on the shuffleboard table.
Which place? The inn or the hotel?
It was at the end.
Mhm.
No, I take it back. It was at the hotel. It was the hotel.
Okay.
And then with the first place we came out, the police were standing outside the door,
Mhm.
and we came out. And we're all, Steve Ploy's all loud, and I'm all loud, and my dad was there to kind of protect us because he was my dad. And we come out, and the police officer says, "Okay, guys, what's the beef? What's going on here?" And I said to the police officer, "I've got your beef."
I know.
And my dad says, "Officer, it's my son's. He's getting married tomorrow. Just, I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it. We're good here."
Garth.
Oops.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, do you know who I am? That type of thing, yeah. But and then I walked home, and then for some reason my dad didn't. I ended up walking home, and I end up sitting down on the bench at Judge Sweetland's house, which was on Pleasant Street,
Yeah.
and I completely broke his bench, and I just left it like that.
Way
But
to go.
once I got to that side of town, past Main Street towards my house on James Street, or my mom lived on Pleasant Street then.
Right.
I stopped at every house and said, knock on the door. Hi, is this Janine's place? All the way. So I finally got to my mom's apartment.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Anyways, Jeff, the day of my wedding, was the only guy that didn't try to talk me out of getting married. But he also
I
handed
didn't
me
know that was a thing.
he had the wedding band, and he put a gummy fish in it.
I had to keep track of it.
So Jeff, as usual, I have to make it funny. Up there at the altar, I didn't know it was coming, and I was still a little bit and he hands me the ring. At that point, the ceremony hands me the ring, and it's got the gummy fish in it, and I'm like, "Are you serious? Really?" And he just starts laughing. I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Give me the gummy fish."
Give me the fish.
It's like SeaWorld. They hold the hoop up, you jump through. Come
They
on.
jump through. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Then my mother-in-law sat in the front pew, turned around the whole ceremony.
Yeah, she was a bit of a
She didn't look forward the whole time and wouldn't take any pictures with us.
Really? I don't remember
yeah.
that.
Wouldn't take any pictures with us outside the church. Wouldn't sit for the thing. So then, I know this is Jeff's moment in time right now, but real quick. So after the ceremony, and before we're getting ready to head off to our honeymoon,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, we got back for our honeymoon, and we were at her mom's apartment, which is on Lake Street, which ended up being my brother's apartment. That's a different story. I said, "Blanche, why don't you go ahead and go see your sister or something? Go leave." And I sat Blanche's mom down, and I just read her the riot act, because there was a Jackson Sawyer thing that went back many, many decades between the mothers. And yeah, and I read her the riot act, said, "This is the way the corn goes. I married your daughter. You're gonna have to suck it up on part of you." But ever since that day, till the day she died, I was the best thing since sliced bread to that woman.
Oh, I didn't know she passed away.
Sliced
I'm sorry.
bread.
Yeah.
Sliced bread. There you go.
Tough love, baby. Tough
Yeah.
love.
Tough love.
Yeah. So Seymour,
What?
your wedding night or bachelor party.
Yeah, tell me what we
House
did.
in the
'Cause
basement.
I have no idea.
Why don't you have any idea?
Because I didn't drink again.
Okay. Fair enough. So what'd they do, Jeff?
What did we
Before
do?
our timer runs
Well,
out.
I was in charge of entertainment, so I rented a VCR, and it was cold. I believe it was November,
Yep.
and I had it in the car for the whole trip from Rochester down. And someone had procured some types of videos, of which I do not know. Anyway, the video machine never warmed up so that we could play them.
Right.
So sorry about that. I'm still.
But you failed. Okay,
Now,
you failed as an entertainment guy.
I seem to remember this occurring at the not Dryden, at the Ithaca Ramada, downtown. Where was it?
I thought it was in Roger Dick's basement.
What?
What?
Didn't we have it there?
There was a hotel room involved somewhere.
Okay, maybe it's the hotel
What's
room.
that? There's a statement. There was a hotel room involved somewhere.
We're gonna find it.
I'm pretty sure it was downtown Ithaca.
You sure you weren't thinking of Bachelor?
So you think it was in a hotel and you think it was in a
I
Roger
think,
Dick's
I
place?
think we went to Roger's house first and picked everybody up, then went down. So I think maybe that's where I got it.
Okay,
Okay.
maybe.
I'm old. I don't know what I'm saying.
Entirely
Anyway.
possible. Because Roger was in the wedding too.
Yeah. So I remember at Cornell at the chapel, I'm
Mhm.
standing there next to you. I'm looking down. There's this dude named Ezra or somebody. I don't know who is it.
Yeah,
Some
the dead
dude.
dead guys were all hanging out.
Yeah, I was like, we're staying over crypts. This is really creepy. I kept thinking that. You know the best part of the reception though?
What's that?
The cake. The cake blew me away.
You know who made the cake, right?
No.
Dave's mom.
Pam's mom.
No, it was
My
Dave.
mother.
Your
My mom
made
did.
the cake?
My mom did, yeah.
That was her wedding present to us. Was the
Yeah.
cake?
That was an awesome. I did not know that. Way to go, Janine. All
Way to
right.
go, Janine.
What do you Janine?
Wow.
Everybody's wedding cake.
Yep.
Now she can make a mean buttered toast with
That's right. With hot
homemade
cocoa.
cocoa like
Right.
no one's business, man. I tell you, those were the best mornings. A loaf of bread.
Yep.
Easy.
And real cocoa from scratch.
Real from scratch. You know,
Yeah.
Uncle Hershey and everything.
Yeah.
It's like it was. I don't know what it was. It just
Uncle
tasted
Hershey.
so
Well, I was
good.
mad. I had hot cocoa literally till I left for the military. I had homemade hot cocoa and toast every other morning for my entire childhood.
That's why I hung out at your house, man.
Yeah, I mean it was a thing.
Yeah.
Not every morning. It was every other morning before I went to school.
Yeah,
Huh.
spoiled me, man. My mom would say, where you going? It's like a day's house. All right, well, you gonna stay there? Like, yeah, I got
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever slept over. I think I fell asleep on the couch maybe once or twice, but I don't know if I ever.
Well,
stayed.
we did a lot of front porch sleeping bag things and
Yeah, that's true.
that type of thing.
Man, I tell you what, the best times, and I still hear this, and I don't know how appropriate it is, but your sister Cindy
Yeah.
cracks me up every time I think of her and just her laugh. Man, I miss her. She
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Yep.
And Jerry is pretty funny too. We went and visited him. Did I tell you that up at Fort Knox?
Oh yeah. Fort Knox.
He
Yeah,
cracks
no, Fort Knox.
his coffee mug.
Well,
Oh.
Jerry, I've always said my brother-in-law's always been my hero to me.
Yeah.
But Jerry went back to my bachelor party night before I got married, as we were getting rooked over by the elderly. He kept asking people, "What kind of car do you drive?" I drive a Ford. It's a world's car. What do you drive?
What was that? What was that? I remember that.
There was some commercial about Ford was the world's car back then, and he kept hounding people about that he drove a Ford.
I missed that commercial. Wow.
All right. So on that happy note, we got the 2-minute warning.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Rapping.
Yeah.
Rapping.
Well, buddy,
Yeah.
this has been great, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just hope I did service. I didn't
Oh, we're
get to
gonna-
see
we're
the
gonna-
last couple of them, but
We're gonna edit most of this shit out. Don't worry about it.
yeah, cool. That's cool. I'll
I
send you
appreciate.
I'll send you some pictures too. I mean, I found a couple.
Okay. Miami?
Been through 2 floods, so I lost a lot of pictures. And can I just say this for the record? That 110 Instamatic camera film sucks. Everything I got's yellow and like,
Yeah.
that's terrible. That's so sad. But no, this is fun. I appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out
No,
with
we're
you guys.
glad
I
We're glad you spent the time with us, man.
I'm
Hey, I
glad
hope
that
we get to
can
do
hook up.
another South Carolina, Virginia get together with some folks. I think that would be
We're
cool.
going to Norfolk
When?
There you go.
when you invite us.
You're invited. There it is.
All right,
There we go. We'll
All right,
make-
Jeff, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks, man.
All
Thanks
right,
for
guys.
talking to you, brother.
Jeff, thank you very much for chatting with us
Appreciate you.
and remembering the home.
The
You
what?
got
What did he say?
Remembering the home.
Remember, yes. The hoe.
The home.
Oh,
The video.
The immigrant thing, the immigrant
Jeez.
story that Dave completely made up. That story.
No, I kind of remember it, and I thought this is cheesy, and it's like
Yeah.
I ain't gonna win nothing. I mean, I knew what I had coming up for the Irish set, so
All
All
right.
right.
that's cool.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Let's
There you go. All right. Have a good
Bye,
night.
Jeff. Thanks, buddy.
Bye bye.
Bye.